Hello, here are my thoughts on 5 movies I've seen recently, ranking from worst to best, starting off with the worst movie of the bunch. At number 5, it's Howl's Moving Castle. Please like this video and subscribe and grow the channel, thank you. Now, I'm not a big animeist, but I know that Studio Ghibli makes the good ones. I've seen Nausicaa, I've seen Big Fat Fuzzy Rabbit Guy, and I like them both, so going into this one, hearing about how it's supposed to be all weird like, I was excited. I liked the weird shit, so I thought this was going to be the one for me. And, well, it is weird, but only on a surface level. Underneath, it's a basic ass anime movie to the point where they save the day with the power of love and friendship. And to that I say, nah. Also, fuck Howl. My boy Turnip Head was way more likeable without a word of dialogue, and then they turned him into a pretty boy prince and... The movie does have charm and genuine moments of wonder, but it all faded away for me at the end. Still have hope for Ponyo though. Number 4. Now, this is an anime movie if it were good and not animated. Crouchy Tigy Hiddy Draggy is what happens when a movie has the substance to back up its style. There are loads of excellent fight scenes which are frantic and high-paced and leave you breathless, whilst at the same time the movie remembers to slow down with these tranquil scenes and tells this romantic story of human emotion and unexpressed wants and desires. Michelle Yeoh kicks ass and breaks your heart, and I was particularly taken with the character of the Jade Fox, as I thought she was a very compelling villain. However, I could have done with more of her, as there wasn't enough of her in the movie for my liking. Also, and this might just be a me thing, but the ending? Whoosh, straight over my head. So I was left at the end of this movie that I really liked, feeling confused. However, there is plenty enough here for me to recommend. With its perfect blend of action and romance, it would be a perfect date night movie. However, you don't have a date, do you? You're just sitting there, alone, in the dark. Look at you. You're probably still upset at me for all that mean stuff I said about that kids movie, eh? Pathetic. Number 3.
It's true that all the men you knew were dealers who said they were through with dealing every time you gave them shelter. I know that kind of man. It's hard to hold the hand of anyone who's reaching for the sky just to surrender. Who is reaching for the sky just to surrender.
McCabe and Mrs Miller is not your typical Western movie. The way it starts, you think this might be a movie about crackshot cowboys and epic firefights, but instead, it's this slow-paced plot about people doing what people do. Talk, interact, form connections. With its mix of melancholy music from Leonard Cohen and the ever-present rain and snow, you really get this feeling as if this town is in hibernation, isolated from the rest of the world, hoping no one comes to disturb it. Personally, this movie completely subverted any expectations I had going in, especially regarding Warren Beatty's character. Julie Christie is great, and Hugh Melias is outstanding. He has only one scene of talking, and you remember him for the rest of your life. A great, great movie about people. And prostitutes. Number 2. Guys, no fighty. War room no fighty, come on guys. A movie that suffered from its own reputation for me, from hearing it's the greatest comedy of all time, to my dad constantly quoting the same joke. I went in this movie with high expectations, and even though I really enjoyed it, I know I would have loved it if I didn't know anything about it. Knowing all the classic lines, it was the jokes I didn't know that I found the most entertaining, which I'll refrain from spoiling for you here. Even though I did kind of spoil the best joke at the start. But anyway, all the performances are top notch. From a technical standpoint, the movie is beautiful. Definitely made sense shooting in black and white, and some of the close-ups of characters' faces really stick with you. This Kubrick guy really seems to know what he's doing. I can't wait to see what he puts out in the future. For me though, this is just proof, if proof were needed, that the best time to watch a movie is when you know nothing about it. Number 1. Robert De Niro as Al Capone, Kevin Costner as Elliot Ness, Sean Connery winning an Oscar for not playing James Bond, written by David Mamet, made by the guy who made Scarface. This movie's good. Now, I had never seen any of De Palma's work before watching this movie, but as soon as I was done, I just wanted to dive into his filmography. The action scenes in this are so damn good. All of them are so visually interesting. The sequence in the train station might go down as one of my favourite sequences in a movie. The court scene? This movie's really good. Sean Connery and De Niro are amazing, but the person who really surprised me was Kevin Costner, who starts off pretty bland but grows into the role as the film goes on. A rock solid banger of a movie that I could watch every day of a week and never get sick of. This movie is really, really good. In the past week, I have watched Primer twice, watched a video breakdown of the different timelines twice, watched a full plot synopsis and explanation, and taken a course on astrophysics, and now I can confidently say that I like Primer. I think. Primer is unique, as it's a truly universal viewing experience. Everyone watches it, everyone tries to keep up with it, and everyone is left at the end with feelings of confusion and bewilderment. This makes it a hard movie to review, as your enjoyment of the movie comes down to how you respond to these emotions, but it is a very easy movie to recommend due to how unique it is. Going in, I knew the movie was supposed to be complicated, so I tried hard to concentrate. Plus, I'd seen this thumbnail pop up in my YouTube recommendations, so I thought this may give me an edge in keeping track of everything. Spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's dad. Also, it didn't help. The movie gets everything out of its shoestring budget. The camera work is constantly circling around and around the characters, symbolising the loops that they're caught in. Shane Carruth stars, directs, and wrote the movie, and refused to dumb the film down to make it more accessible for viewers. Whether you think this makes him a genius or a pretentious prick comes down to you and how you feel about Primer. This would be a great movie to watch with friends and to try to decipher as a group. For me though, I think I'm done with Primer for now, and so, if you'll excuse me, I have to go deal with the rats in my attic. Ciao.